Where are they now? Every original member of the famous New York City basketball group, Jelly Fam. Jaquaye James and Isaiah Washington's signature jelly layup helped spark one of the biggest movements in high school basketball ever. The lay helped form a group of New York high school hoopers whose presence on social media and popularity in the city was massive. Basketball players across the globe were recreating this infamous move, and everyone wanted to get in on Jelly Fam's electric movement. Well, it has been more than 6 years since the group first blew up on social media. So in this video, I will be giving you an update on the basketball career for every single original Jelly Fam member. Before I go into detail about the 4 founders of the group, I wanted to briefly touch on the other members first. Let's start off with the only girl a part of Jelly Fam, Mimi Reed. Mimi was a 4-star super crafty guard in high school who ended up committing to Ole Miss. During her 4 years with the Rebels, she appeared in just about every single game they played, averaging 7 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds in her best season. After her time at Ole Miss, Mimi decided to play a final year of collegiate basketball as a grad student at St. John's, which is where she'll be at for the 2022-23 season. Next up is Leandre Washington. Leandre was a shifty 6-foot point guard who ended up committing to Robert Morris. He played 1 year at RMU, averaging 8 and 2 a game, and then spent the rest of his collegiate career at 3 different schools. He played his sophomore year at Barton Community College, where he averaged 17 points a night. He played his junior year back at the Division I level for McNeese, where he averaged 5 and 2, and then his final 2 eligible years for the LSUS Pilots, which is an NAIA school in Louisiana. Leandre graduated college this past May and is currently playing for KB Prizreni, a professional basketball club based in Kosovo. Next up is Nazrian Reed. And yes, this is the Naz Reed that is currently playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves. After high school, Naz was a one-and-done player at LSU who went on to become a key piece for the current Timberwolves team. Being from Minnesota, I can confidently say the entire city absolutely loves this guy. He is the Wolves' best guy off the bench, and I truly believe he could average 20 a night if he got the minutes of a starter. Next up is Jordan Walker, one of the most prolific scorers in college basketball currently. Jordan was a 3-star point guard who originally committed to Seton Hall. He only averaged 2 points per game with the Pirates and ended up transferring to Tulane, where he played 2 seasons. Jordan put up 13 and 4 a night in his best season with the Green Wave, which is a pretty solid stat line for a college player. But that stat line is nowhere near the 24 points per game he's averaging for UAB, which is actually the second highest points per game out of all Division I players this season. Wherever Jordan plays professionally post-college, I know he will continue to be a prolific scorer. And finally, the last non-founder in the original Jelly Fam group, Pedro Marquez. Pedro was actually the least recruited player out of the entire group and originally committed to Albertus Magnus, a Division III school in Connecticut. He averaged just 2 points per game as a freshman, but Pedro really transformed into an elite college scorer when he transferred to Old Westbury, which is a D3 college in Long Island, New York. Pedro finished his last season of collegiate basketball in 2020, averaging 19 points per game. And besides making appearances in a New York Pro-Am, we really haven't seen him play organized basketball since. But who knows, I would not be surprised to see him play professionally sometime soon. That is all for the original guys who were brought into Jelly Fam. Now let's get into the 4 players who founded the group. Starting off with the most athletic player of them all, Sidney Wilson. Sid was a 4-star 6'7" small forward who could jump out of the gym. Looking back at his senior mixtape, you could really tell how much of a force he was in the paint. 2-handers off the drop step, mean tomahawks, catching lobs left and right. He really had a posterizer badge on Hall of Fame. Sid initially committed to St. John's, but then later decided to play his freshman season at UConn. He had a pretty underwhelming first 2 years of college with the Huskies and transferred to SIU Edwardsville for his junior season. And Sid had a significant jump in his points per game with the Cougars, going from 3 a night to 13. After this solid junior year in college, Sid went straight to the pros, playing for Hispano Americano, which is a team a part of the top-tier basketball league in Argentina. Sid averaged 6 points in 15 minutes a game during his first professional season and is now with a basketball club in Lebanon called Atlas Ferzal. Now, the LBL is by no means a top professional league, but Sid is putting up 24 and 8 a game during this current season. His stat line proves that he should be in a more competitive league overseas, and I definitely think he will get an opportunity to leave Lebanon for elsewhere after this year. The next guy I wanted to talk about is Jahvon Quinnerly, the player who is neck and neck with Naz Reed in terms of the highest recruited guy within Jelly Fam. Jahvon had disgusting handles and was able to score the ball on all 3 levels. He was a great passer that was not afraid to get flashy, and of course, he had a filthy jelly package. Jahvon received a ton of high major offers and ended up committing to Villanova, but unfortunately, Villanova just wasn't a good fit for him at all. During his freshman year, he received just 9 minutes of playing time a game, and as a result, averaged 3 points. So he was quick to transfer schools after this and decided to go with his second option, Alabama, which definitely was the better option for him because his role with Bama is much larger than it was at at Villanova. He went from not starting once and playing just 9 minutes a game in his freshman year with the Wildcats to starting in most games and playing 25 minutes a night in his sophomore year with the Crimson Tide. This role change definitely highlighted Jahvon's collegiate playing ability as he averaged 13 points in a loaded SEC conference. He was even projected to be a second-round pick in the 2021 NBA draft. The thing that really intrigued scouts about Jahvon was his impressive 43% shooting from three and his overall scoring ability from behind the arc. But Jahvon didn't enter his name in the 2021 draft and returned to Bama for another season. Unfortunately, his three-point percentage dropped significantly as a junior, but he was still able to put up a solid 14 points and 4 assists a game. Jahvon again had a chance to enter his name in the NBA draft, but he decided to return to Bama for a final year of college hoops. This year, Jahvon is receiving less minutes compared to his past 2 seasons because he is now the backup to Ohio transfer Mark Sears. While I might not be sure if Jahvon will end up making it to the NBA, I'm certain he can find success professionally wherever his basketball career takes him. Next up is Jaquaye James. Jaquaye was the 5'8" point guard who helped lead Teaneck High School to back-to-back state titles. Jaquaye wasn't heavily recruited, so he ended up going the JUCO route, playing for Navarro Community College in Texas. He put up 12 points and 4 assists in his freshman season and then transferred to Mineral Area College for his sophomore year, which was actually the last time we saw Jaquaye playing collegiate basketball. Since then, we have seen Jaquaye make an appearance in the Hoopsville Pro-Am in 2021 and play in a minor basketball league known as the TBL this past season. After his last game on May 29th, 2022 in the TBL, we haven't seen Jaquaye play organized basketball since. After looking at his socials and doing more research online, I couldn't find anything indicating that he is going to continue with basketball. But I did find out he has put out a lot of music recently, so maybe he has taken inspiration from his uncle Jules Santana and will pursue music. And finally, the player we've all been waiting for, Isaiah Washington. Isaiah was a 6'4" 4-star point guard who is the most popular player in Jelly Fam, a guy who has one of the filthiest layup packages we have ever seen to this date. His flashy highlights and massive confidence on the court had thousands of people across the country fall in love with his game. He received a lot of major Division I offers and ended up committing to the University of Minnesota. Isaiah averaged 9 points in his first year with the Gophers, but his role with the team got much smaller in his sophomore year due to his shooting and efficiency. Minnesota was clearly a bad fit for Isaiah's final 2 years of college, so he transferred to Iona. During his junior year with the Gales, Isaiah averaged a solid 11 points and 4 assists. And to finish off his collegiate career, Isaiah decided to transfer to Long Beach State. He averaged 14, 5, and 5 in his senior year with the team, which was his best year in college by far. Isaiah ended up entering his name in the 2021 NBA draft, but sadly a team never picked him up. Since 2021, we have seen Isaiah play professionally in multiple countries overseas. Most recently in Germany for the Fraport Skyliners in the BBL, which is the country's top tier basketball league. Isaiah signed with the team just a few weeks ago and has already provided impact, averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Love to see that he is finding success professionally as we speak. If you enjoyed this Where Are They Now video, make sure to check out the one we did on 7th Woods, the 14-year-old basketball prodigy who holds the crown for the most viral high school mixtape ever. Just like all of the guys in Jelly Fam, a lot has happened in the life and basketball career of 7th, so make sure to check out the video. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. I will see you in the next one.